for Tyler Perry, Sister Season 9, Episode 7. Hold on, let me turn this off. They really need to change the time limit. But yeah, let me know down below what y'all thought of the episode. Um, it was okay. Nothing happened that I thought was gonna happen. I thought that once Zach came, she would fully be better and doing things and stuff like that. But no, I mean Danny was told her to get in the shower and stuff like that. So it looked like she finally getting in the shower, changing her clothes. She ate a few, I say a few. She ate, yeah, a few spoons of the, did they say that was gumbo? I think they did say that was gumbo. But yeah, she's slowly starting to come to, but she was doing more talking during her conversation with Zach, y'all. She was, but she ain't fully, like a lot of people were saying that she was going to fully come to and do this and that when that came, but she didn't so far. And when the baby had started crying, I think, did Aaron come back out? I don't know. But I thought they was going to show a scene where she picked up the baby. I feel like that would have been the perfect ending. They still ain't showed up picking up the baby. And I just seen people saying how they still think that it's not due to postpartum or whatever they think it's due because, the whole Zach, excuse me, the Zach situation. What do y'all think? Let me know down below. But yeah, like I said, it was an okay episode. Not too much happened. Not too much happened. I think, what was the cliffhanger? I think the cliffhanger was Rich walking up to see Sabrina talking to, he called him Pops. He said, what he said? Did he say, they say what you want, Pops? Go, no, I don't know what he said, but I was laughing. I was like, okay, they told her not to talk to any of the other dudes, but they don't encourage her to talk to this old man. Now, I don't know if he an old man, because, sometimes, like, younger people can have gray hair, too. But I'm assuming he an old man. He said, go, no, Pops. But yeah, I was like, nah, I don't know. I had already seen, I think they showed in the trailer, Rich had showed up, but he showed up at the end of the episode. But I don't think, like, nothing really happened. Nothing really happened. They did all the little flashbacks of Zach and Karen. First they were showing the bad, then they started showing the good, because Karen was like, we had good moments too, didn't we? And that's when they started showing them together or whatever. And I said majority of the good scenes that they showed was them sleeping together. So they ain't had much of a relationship, but look like Zach and Fatima still gonna be, I ain't gonna say they into it or anything like that, but she gonna be saying how he shutting her out. He gonna reveal that he went over there to see Karen. They still saying how she's supposed to move out, and I don't know how true that is. I hope not, because they supposed to be made progress by now. But yeah, on tonight's episode, Aaron was saying how he thinks that Zach being there would help, and so far it does seem like it kind of helped or whatever. But they didn't too much show anything. The ladies had stopped by, and that's when Aaron was like, she was in the room. So I thought when they showed her in the room, I thought she done went got dressed. She done jumped in the shower because he said she was getting rest. I was really hoping when they cut to her, she had got dressed, she changed her clothes, she done got herself together, and she came in there holding the baby. I feel like that would have been the perfect ending, but no. I want to know how long they finna get ready to do this part of the storyline. But yeah, Danny was helping her. I liked that scene. I definitely like how the ladies have been showing up. But we got to talk about Andy. Look, I'm skipping ahead, but we got to talk about Andy. Do y'all think that she was jealous of Fatima having them all those players, seek help? Let me know. Did she feel some type of way? I was like, wait a minute, because the way Fatima looked, because what did she say? She said, I guess it's great practice or whatever for when you actually, take the bar exam and stuff like that. And Fatima made a face, and I was like, I was like, I don't think she should have said that. Maybe she didn't mean no harm. I don't know, y'all. I know a lot of people had already said how she was jealous, and I was like, y'all can't believe the trailer. Y'all can't believe the trailer. Whatever, y'all know they combined clips, but it looked like she really was jealous. Then before she left, what she said, let me just look again, and she looked through it or whatever. And I don't know, maybe they actually have a conversation. Then also, y'all notice how she didn't tell Fatima about her little meetup with Vaughn. What he said his name was? Reginald. Y'all know she didn't tell, unless I'm mistaken. Did she tell her? Because I think she said she was about to get on the couch or something, didn't she? Well, I was like, normally she'll tell Fatima everything. I mean, I don't agree with telling your friends everything, so she ain't technically wrong about that part. But if anybody gonna be on your side, it's Fatima. Excuse me. If anybody gonna be on her side, it's Fatima. But yeah, she definitely didn't tell that part. And I was like, yeah, she feels some type of way. But Fatima shouldn't start to doubt herself because her friend done said something about, it's great practice or whatever when you actually pass the bar or whatever. But yeah, I already said the part about Aaron thinks Zach being there would help. Karen ends up asking Zach why he's there. So he was just talking to her. He congratulated her. He was saying how that's the worst hurt he ever felt. He ain't never felt that way. And she was like being snarky like she always do. Saying like, you came all the way over here for that or whatever. So he ends up congratulating her, saying how faith is a beautiful miracle or whatever. So he was like, can he hold her? So he went to hold her. She was crying and stuff like that. And he noticed that she didn't bat an eye. She didn't say anything. She didn't try to calm the baby down or nothing like that. Even after all that, she still like didn't pick up the baby. She definitely still didn't pick up the baby or whatever, y'all. So if y'all didn't watch the episode, she still haven't picked up the baby. Danny helped her get in the shower, or she pointed her in the right. Excuse me. She told her to get in the shower and change her clothes because them the same clothes she had on when she got from the hospital. Zach ends up telling Karen that he ready to have a real conversation. He already said the part about he mentioned how Faith was crying and Karen didn't even move. He said that Aaron is a solid dude and he loves her. They was talking about that. He ends up telling her how Faith needs her and stuff like that, but she's still not. She was still out of it. She was still out of it. She was like, she made a comment about them no longer being tied to each other. And that's when he was like, they're gonna always be, connected because of what they shared and stuff like that. So they started doing the flashbacks. They showed, when she was on the airplane and told him, I think that was the scene where she said she threw out his granddaddy stuff, if I'm not mistaken. I always question that scene because after she did all that, accused him of the whole credit card situation, he decided, and then if I'm not mistaken, wasn't that the same scene or the same storyline where the police dude was like he had to cover the camera or whatever? He was threatening Zach basically. So he almost got murdered because that's what I think he was saying. If I'm not mistaken, I think that was during the same time as the credit card situation because he got stopped. I think he had the truck. I don't know, y'all. It's been so many years. But yeah, instead of parting ways, then he went to confront her and they ended up hooking up, and that's how we got here. That's how we got here. But yeah, they was playing all those flashbacks. Then she was like, but we had good moments too, didn't we? So they started playing the flashbacks when they were sleeping together. I was like, their relationship kind of seemed toxic, or it was toxic anyways. I was like, they just started a whole bunch of sex scenes and stuff. But yeah, what else? Let's see. Um, Dr. Vaughn ends up calling Andy. He told me so he can't get her. He can't seem to get her off his mind. He want to see her. So she agreed to meet up for drinks and stuff. Hayden was being a fan to that Duncan dude. And don't look like, I don't know if he actually got any work did or not. But yeah, Karen said she would have never. Wait, I didn't even finish the sentence. What is it? It's a Karen said she would have never. I don't know. I didn't finish it. Let me see. What else? Tamara ends up flirting with that Chaz Duncan dude. Fatima ends up warning him about Tamara. And I was like, I hope he listened. Because it didn't seem like he was listening to her. But yeah, she was saying how basically she go listening. He seemed like he kind of wasn't listening. Y'all know they always got to find out the hard way. But yeah, she had slid him her number. She was like, in about 10 minutes, she finna get ready to end things with Hayden. And she did. She definitely did. And he felt some type of way. And I don't understand. I don't understand. What did you expect from her? Y'all whole relationship been a lie. What exactly did you expect, Hayden? Then she went in there talking about some, she basically tired of living like that because she don't know when he gonna try to pay her back for sleeping with Gary and all this other stuff. And I was like, she just ready for something new. She just ready for something different. That's what it is or whatever. So he started telling her about herself. When she left, he went knocking stuff over and stuff. I said, I said, And the crazier part about this is, despite the fact that she a skis, it's the fact that he was messing around with Miss Marie. What the world? He was messing around with her, so he ain't no better. But yeah, they perfect for each other. But yeah, she told Fatima she finna leave, she done or whatever. She apologized for everything or whatever. So I'm assuming we not finna see her no more. We'll see though. Let me see. Fatima warns Duncan about her. Tamara tells Hayden that this isn't working anymore. He tells her to. He was trying to tell her that the past is the past. Let me see. Fatima ends up talking to Andy about Zach, saying how she feel like he's shutting her out, and look like on next week's episode he's still gonna be shutting her out. Hopefully they end up working things out. We'll see. What else? Andy ends up saying to give him some time because he grieving and stuff like that. Y'all know what I thought about? I think there was this morning when I was thinking about I had reminded myself. Wait a minute. I had reminded myself. Hold on. I was like, the whole scene about, I think I had seen the trailer where she was saying how, he's shutting her out. And, would that be considered a miscarriage? No, it was a stillbirth. That's different. Is that different? But didn't they say on Sistas that Fatima had a miscarriage? So I thought maybe she could have opened up, but I don't know how far it got, her pregnancy got, or anything like that. Now I know on Fatima they said she had an abortion, but on Sistas they said she had a miscarriage. I don't know if there's two separate things or whatever, but yeah. But yeah, I was like, maybe they can talk about it together, because I know they was in the car when she was telling Zach about it. But yeah, she's trying to get him to open up on next week's episode. Let me see. Yeah, Andy was saying give him some time. Fatima ends up asking, I think it was blinking out. I think Fatima was asking Andy, Andy was asking Fatima what she doing there so late. She was like, she looking over the paperwork for the players and stuff like that. She was like, players, I thought, it was just one. But she was like, Miss Marie had pointed in the direction to one, and he recommended her to some people. So she started looking at it and stuff like that. She made a face. She paused. Then she started looking through it and everything. And she was like, well, I guess it'll be good practice for when you pass the bar. And Fatima made a face. And I was like, well, I guess y'all was right. It looks like she is jealous or feel some type of way. I thought it was just the clips being combined. I was wrong. And I said, yeah, they're going to have to talk about that. Maybe she going to say, I didn't mean it like that or something like that. Or maybe she actually is, jealous or feel some type of way about it. I don't know. But yeah, you can tell Fatima's feelings was hurt. But that don't mean nothing. She could definitely be a better lawyer than her. She could definitely be a better lawyer than her. For sure. She barely even, look, she can't even stay there to do her job. She over here trying to meet up with another man. But yeah, Zach and Zach and Karen was still talking and everything. And that's when they was talking. Zach was saying how, he got Fatima. And she was like, she got Aaron. And she gonna try to make it work and have a family with him. He had the little baby monitor in his hand. He was just a smiling. Look, he was eavesdropping. He was eavesdropping. He started smiling when she said that. And I said, about doggone time. Hopefully we finna move on from this for good. Cause y'all know we don't seen scenes with them where they like, okay, we finna get ready to end or whatever. I'm gonna be with Aaron. I'm gonna be with Fatima. Next thing you know, they got them doing stuff they ain't got no business doing. So hopefully this is it. Hopefully this is it. Yeah, they had a nice little conversation or whatever. But yeah, Aaron was smiling once that happened. But I thought for sure the ending scene was gonna be her holding the baby. She ain't hold the baby yet. And when they showed her again, she was just sitting there again, zoned out. She was still zoned out, and I understand why. She was telling Danny and them, it hurts. It hurts or whatever. She's still struggling. But yeah, what else? Tamara says she won't be around anymore. That's when she tell Fatima. She just popped up on her. I think she gave her a card about her hair business or something. I already said she apologized for everything. Aaron tells the ladies about Karen that she seen Zach and she's in there or whatever. That she been walking around like a zombie, and she still was kind of walking around like a zombie, but she talking more. She definitely was talking more when Zach was there. Sabrina ends up meeting up with different dudes or whatever, and Maurice and Paige was just telling her, they ain't the one. She needs somebody else or whatever. Karen ends up thanking Aaron for everything he's done and stuff like that. So I'm interested to see their storyline. Let me see. I already said the lady stopped by. Andy ends up telling Karen she has to eat. She ends up taking a few spoons of gumbo. But she still was saying how she doesn't have much of an appetite. Danny realizes that, she hasn't changed her clothes. So that's when she told her she got to go in there and get in the shower. And I liked that scene. I definitely do. I think we need to see more scenes with them actually showing up for each other. Yeah, that was a nice little moment. What else? Let's see. Danny said, if you don't want to eat, you're going to do something. And she grabbed her head and took her in there so she could get in the shower or whatever. What else happened? Let me see. Maurice was encouraging Sabrina to take one of them men home. And Paige was like, no, don't take none of these dudes home to your house. Or whatever. I said exactly right. They had showed Dr. Vaughn. He was sitting over there by himself waiting on Andy. It's like he's checking the time and stuff. But she's supposed to show up on next week's episode. Rich ends up showing up while Sabrina over here talking to this dude. I was like, I don't want to say, well, technically I already said it, but I don't want to say that he was an old dude just because his gray hair, because some young people have gray hair. But at the same time, I'm assuming he's an old dude. But yeah, they don't encourage her to be with this man. I take that back. Not be with him, but hook up with him. And Rich showed up at the end of the episode, and I said, I'm about sick of him. That should not have been the cliffhanger. It definitely should not have. And he's supposed to be telling him on next week's episode, basically, get on, Pops. You didn't say what you want. Didn't say what you want. But yeah, that was it. That was it. What else did they show? I think Fatima and Zach was talking, and she was saying he was shutting her out. And he mentions how he went over there to see Karen. And I said, hopefully she won't be a problem for them anymore. What else did they show? Let me see. Did they show Danny and them? Danny and Tony? I don't think so. I think no, they showed Sabrina, Rich, Fatima. I think they showed Andy and Dr. Vaughn. I don't know who else they showed y'all, but I'm gonna do a separate video once they release that trailer. But that's it. That's all. Let me know your thoughts down below. Stay tuned for the next review. Until next time, deuces. Have a great rest of the night and be safe.